Hey everyone, I'm Rene'e Betteton with Life Solutions Transformations, and I'm a coach. And today I am doing my live show on Tap In Tuesdays with Rene'e. So I'm streaming on Facebook, and I'm also going to be streaming on YouTube as well. So at Life Solutions, what we do is we talk about different problems in our lives, whether it's problems in the area of sex, whether it's problems in the area of um, a career or making a big life change or dealing with old shit that keeps coming up in your life, old emotions that keep resurfacing again that you think that you got rid of and you haven't. Well, on today on Life Solutions, today's show is going to be for the ladies who are over 18. So if you're not over 18, skip out of this video and move on to something else great to watch that's right for you. So what we're going to do today, and I'm getting ready to go live on Facebook at 4 o'clock, so I'm giving you a little intro here. And what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about how to figure out if you're ready for a new relationship, what you're looking for in a relationship, ladies, how to meet the right man, how to screen him to find out whether or not he's a good catch and worth keeping or not, how to seduce him once you've got to the point where you know this is the guy that you want and you want to keep, and eventually make him want to spend the rest of his life with you, whether you decide that it's going to be marriage or just a long-term relationship that doesn't go to marriage but living together or what have you. So if you've missed any of my shows before, you really want to watch these shows. And today's going to be great because you're really going to learn how to find the right man, ladies. So I'm getting ready to go live here in just a few moments on Facebook. So if you're watching me live on here, great. If not, watch me on Facebook. It's always recorded and you can replay it anytime. So what I also do is I help people get past trauma, past abuse, past bad marriages that they're coming out of and they're starting over. I help them figure out what they want in life, what's standing in the way, and then I help them figure out what they need to get it. Because sometimes you need to update your skills. Sometimes you just need to know the right people. And sometimes you have to attract some money for whatever you want if it's starting a business. So I help ladies and sometimes men do that as well. So on today's show, we're going to talk about how a woman can get the right man and keep him. And we're going to do some healing along the way as usual. In all my shows, I do healing at the end. So if you haven't seen me before, always stay to the end. And if you're watching a second time, make sure you go into the healing parts so you know how to get rid of the stuff that comes up along the way of going after what you want, whether it's a new relationship, whether it's a new career, whether it's the house you want, whether it's a brand new car, it doesn't matter. We figure all those things out here on Life Solutions. So I am Rene'e Betteton with Life Solutions, and welcome today to Tap In Tuesdays. So let me plug into Facebook, and we're going to get started for the day. So hey everyone out there on Facebook. We're broadcasting live today on Facebook. We're also broadcasting live on YouTube today. So I'm Rene'e Betteton with Life Solutions, and today this show is just for you ladies. And we're going to talk about how to realize what you need to change in yourself so you can get the right person that you want. And we're going to get really clear on what kind of person you want today. And once we do that, then we're going to work on how you're going to meet that person, how you're going to meet that man. Okay, this is for ladies over 18 today, because we're going to get some deep, juicy stuff. So if you're under 18, little young women, I know you think that you're old enough, but anyone under 18, I really don't want to watch today's shows because this is focused on real women that are ready to make that jump into a relationship, make a change, whatever it is that they need to do when it comes to romance. So we're going to start out with getting clear on what you want, getting clear on if there's any changes that you need to make in yourself so you can attract the kind of person that you want. And then we're going to talk about how you attract that person to you, how you get them in your life. Then we're going to talk about how to seduce them in a good way and make them love you and want to be with you forever. Because that's what you want usually, right? Or whatever type of relationship you want, okay? So we're going to talk about those things today. So again, I'm Renee with Life Solutions, and welcome to Tap In Tuesdays with Renee. Thank you so much for being here with me today, for all of you that are joining me and all of you that view it later on. So I hope you get some enjoyment out of this today. And so we're going to start off for you ladies over 18. We're going to start off talking about getting a clear idea of the kind of person that you want in your life, okay? Then we'll get a little bit deeper in that and what you need to do to attract that person, okay? So I know for me, for the longest time, I kept picking the same kind of guys, the same kind of men that didn't work for me, that there may be a strong physical attraction there. I had this thing about, guys with, nice smile or nice hair, nice butt, and good shape. And a lot of times when I went out and was looking for someone that I was interested in, I would have a tendency to look at how physically attractive I found them. Now, I'm not going to say that physical attraction isn't anything, that it doesn't matter, because of course you want to be physically attracted in some way to your person, okay? But here's the thing. I found, this is one of the things that I learned for myself, and if you haven't learned this and you keep going and doing the same things over and over, eventually I hope that you will learn this, is that looks only go so far. Because this person may be gorgeous today, but how do they treat you? How do you feel when you're around them? Do you feel intimidated by them in any way? Do you feel like you're the lucky one? Or do you feel like it's an equal joining of two hearts and souls? Okay. This is really important because um, for a few different reasons, it's really important. Okay. One of the first reasons why it's really important, if you have a strong physical attraction to them and you don't have I really enjoy being around this person. I really enjoy conversations with this person. I really enjoy how this person talks to me and treats me. If, if all you got is that kind of, because in the beginning of a relationship, there's always going to be that adrenaline flowing, that excitement going because it's new. You get to know each other. You're kind of discovering each other, and you're figuring out, is this the one? Is this one going to be the one for me? Maybe, maybe not. But there's ways of figuring that out. We're going to talk about that today, okay? So when you are looking for someone, how much emphasis do you put on their looks, okay? And the reason why I'm talking about this, okay? So one thing, this isn't even just about looks are only, this isn't just about looks are only skin deep and wanting to go deeper than that. This is more than that. So this is more about what happened if this person that you're strongly attracted to and you think that you're in love with, but really you don't realize that it's based on physical attraction. What if this person lost their looks? Would you still feel the same way about them? Or would you start thinking this person isn't good enough for me anymore? Okay? So that's one thing that you need to think about when you're basing your decision of finding a man on looks. Okay? Another thing is we all age, we all get older, and some of us age more gracefully than others. You know, I constantly work on taking care of my skin. I try to get good moisturizers and cleansers. I try to rinse my face in cold water. It helps tighten the skin. I try to not spend a lot of time in the sun, and I have moisturizers that have sunscreen. That's one of the reasons why my eyes water a lot is the sunscreen and my moisturizer kind of irritates my eyes a little bit. But if you want to truly take care of your skin and preserve your skin, you need to moisturize every day, okay? And that will help, slow down the the aging process, on the outside. But you got to do the inside too with the nutrients, okay? But even, let's say they do or don't age gracefully. In 10 years, 20 years from now, and you're with this person and you're sitting, you know, having a conversation, having breakfast or having dinner, and let's say that they've lost their looks. You don't really think they're as, you know, that attractive anymore. Or maybe they've lost their ability to perform in the bedroom, and that's bothersome because you still have a strong drive in that area. What then? Now think about this. This is something to really think about when you're thinking about what you want in a relationship and the person that you want in a relationship, okay? So what then? If they lose all that, what's left? The personality's left. Now, does that personality mesh enough with your personality for you to have a strong relationship with this person without those other things? Do you still have a strong underlying friendship connection with this person who you call the one that you love? This is very important to think about and analyze a little bit and make sure of, okay? Now, here's the next thing. The next thing that you need to look at when you're thinking about a partner. One, you're going to think about the characteristics and things that you want in them, not just the looks. Sure, you probably want someone that has a job or who's retired and financially stable in some way. But are you? Are you financially stable or retired and secure in some way? Or are you just wanting that from your partner so they can take care of you? Think about this. All these things that I'm talking about are going to make a difference because it's your mindset that's going to make the difference in whether or not, in what you're attracting to you. So if you are attracting someone who doesn't really have much appreciation for life, how do you feel about life? Okay, now think about this, because the things that you really believe in, the things that you really feel, really think, whether they're really, you know, apparent to you or not, these are the things that build your character. And these are the things, thank you, and these are the things, I can't see who you are, but I'm sure you're one of my friends. And these are the things that are going to attract to you. So if you want, so this is very important, if you want a person who's very kind to others, are you a person that is kind to others? And how kind do they need to be in order to have your satisfaction? Because you better start working on your kindness if you're not there. So what I mean by that, I'm not saying that you're not a kind person, but what I'm saying, if you want to be in a relationship with a person that is kind, you need to figure out how kind you want them to be and where you are on that scale. Because if they're up here on kindness and they're always giving and caring about others, and you're down here and you pick and choose who you care about and who you give to based on what other silly, reasons you may have made up, you're probably not going to be matched there. Which means that if you get with this person, for one, by trying to drag them into your life or them dragging you into yours, there's going to be a conflict there and it's going to cause problems. But my whole point here is whatever you got going on, whatever you really believe and want, you got to really have that going on. So let me rephrase that a little bit. Whatever you say that you want in a partner, you need to be damn sure that you're that or in the process of becoming it, because until you do, you will not attract that partner that has that particular quality that you're wanting in a partner, okay? So let's say that you want someone, let's go back to the financially secure. So you say that you want someone who's financially secure. If you are not financially secure, at least mentally financially secure and on your way to seeing it, you're not going to attract that person, okay? You're not a match in that area, okay? Like my YouTube is having a problem on its connection. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but I'm going to continue on. Okay, looks like I'm back on. Okay, we're going to continue on. Whether YouTube or Facebook may mess up, we're going to continue on if one is still going live. Okay, so start thinking about the qualities that you want in a person. Do you want someone who's compassionate? Do you want someone who has empathy? Because there's a difference between the two. Compassion means that you have the ability to pretty much feel sorry for another person or feel bad for another person in some way, okay? Empathy is the ability to actually put yourself in their shoes, their position, and feel their pain. Because the only way that you can really truly feel another's pain to where it makes you want to cry, just knowing what they're going through, that's empathy. Feeling compassion and want to throw them a few bucks and walk on your way, that's not the same. There's a big difference in there, okay? And you really need to understand between the two. So, and passion is a whole other thing. And there's different, areas of passion. Passion for life is one of the best things you can have, which means that, you are so full of love and life in your heart and your body that you're just excited for each, moment to come to you. You're very passionate about life and everything in it and the people in it and the things that you're doing and your interactions and your adventures and all these things. So when you don't have passion for life, what happens is you start to lose your desire to live life. You start losing your desire and drive to go after things that you want. And then you start getting depressed and you just start withering away. And pretty soon you don't want to do the things you used to do anymore. You don't want to get out of bed. You have nothing to look forward to. You start feeling hopeless. You still start feeling helpless. And you put yourself in this role sometimes of being victim and wanting people to feel sorry for you. And sometimes you send yourself into depression just by going through these stages. So let's go back to getting ready. Okay, so now we know that we need to become whatever it is that we want in the other person so we're attracted to them, right? Okay, so now that we've got past that part, now how do we get that person to start attracting to us, okay? Well, that's one of the things that you're going to do is start changing you so you are the person that you want to have in a mate. And what will happen is when you put down your resistance and believe that they're coming and you're really clear on what you want, you put it out there, you made the changes in you to become like that person, you will start attracting that person. And this is where you got to start watching for the signs when you attract that person. Okay? You got to start looking when things just start to pop in your head, ideas, um, ideas to go a different way than you normally go, ideas to go into a bar or a restaurant and have lunch, ideas to go to a park, whatever it might be. When those come up, when you're feeling happy and inspired, and those ideas come up, it's very important, if you want what you say that you want, that you follow those, wherever that impulse leads you to, and the next one and the next one. Because I'm telling you, somewhere along the way, that person that you're looking for, they're going to show up. And when you meet them, it's going to be like, oh my God, I've been waiting for you all of my life. And they're going to say, oh my God, I've been waiting for you all my life. And then you're just like, where have you been? And they say, where have you been? And then you just decide that you want to get together and know each other. Okay? So sometimes we'll go out and we're going out and maybe we're really not in the attraction mode for the one that we want. And we're just out good, having a good time. And there's nothing wrong with making new friends, meeting new people, right? New people that you can hang out with, do things with, go places with, whatever, okay? So if you are out and about and you see someone that you don't know if they're attracting to you because you have the right stuff going on or not. This is a way that you can kind of screen it out a little bit. So first of all, you want to get that man's attention, right? You want to figure out how to make him notice you. So let's say you're in a supermarket. If you're in a supermarket and the guy's at a book stand and he's looking at magazines and such, what you do is you want to go over by where he's at and pick up a magazine that's the same magazine that he's looking at. And you just pick it up and you start looking through it. And then you just kind of look over it, and see if he is looking over at you at all and notices. If not, this is where you say, oh, wow. It's like, I see you're looking at the same magazine as Sports Illustrated, have you found any good articles in there yet? And strike up a conversation with him that way. And most guys are going to think in their mind, they may not say it, but in their mind, they're going to say, holy shit, she's looking at Sports Illustrated and she's asking me questions about articles in it. What the hell, did I just die and go to heaven? These are the kind of things that are going to go through men's mind. But here's the thing that you need to understand where men are involved. Men are very what I call primitive, okay? And what I mean by that is their basic needs are very limited, okay? And what those basic needs are, they look at something as, is this something that I want to mate with, either for sexual pleasure or for reproduction? Yes, no, okay. Then they look at, is this something that I need to fight for survival? Yes, no. Is this something that um, is this something that I need to kill and eat for food? No. Okay. So these are the things that men look at. So when they're looking at a woman, when they first look at a woman, almost every man looks for that physical attraction first. Okay. And if they're out somewhere and they see you and you have the right look, and for some reason they're finding you attractive, okay, so you better make sure that you have the right things going on in you so you're not attracted to the kind of guy that you don't want, okay? Because you don't know at first until, you talk to him, get to know him. Because whatever your attraction factor is going on, that's what you're attracting to you, okay? In all areas of your life, not just the romance. Okay, so you're out and about and you're talking to this guy. Now you want to start asking him some questions. Say, so if you're at a grocery store, you might say, hey, so is this your favorite place to shop? I come here quite a bit. And, they're like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. If it's in a bar and they're saying, yeah, I hang out here all the time, you got to make a decision. Do you want someone that hangs out at the bar all the time? Really? That's a choice that you need to make. Okay? If you're in a bar and you're trying to get someone's attention, and maybe they're across the room, so you walk in, you kind of glance over and you see this guy, and he just totally catches your eye. And there's just something about him that you are attracted to him. Well, either one of two things is going on at this point, okay? Either you're being attracted to him because you're in a positive state of energy, you're feeling really good and you have no resistance, and so is he, or you're in the opposite place, feeling lonely or desperate, and so is he, okay? That's the only way that you're going to attract is if you got the same thing going on, okay? That's very important to acknowledge right away. So let's say that you're feeling good. You see him, he notices you, you smile, and you raise your eyebrows. You smile. That lets him know that you're interested. If you just go, that's just being polite. But when you smile, that lets him know that you're interested, okay? You're showing some body language there. So now you want to make sure that you seat yourself in a place, and if you're with another guy that you're on a date with, I wouldn't recommend this because it's kind of disrespectful to the person you're with. Even if it's just a first date, and I know it's hard sometimes, but maybe, before you leave, you can slip the other guy your phone number or something. I would advise it if you like the guy you're with. I wouldn't take that chance. But anyway, so now, you're with your friends or you're by yourself or whatever. You want to make sure that you get in eye range of the guy So you can make glances over to see if he's looking at you. And if so, make sure that you smile. And then if you see that he's making eye contact with you and smiling back at you, give him the okay to come over and talk. And that's just a little nudge, saying smile and say, or a finger saying, and let him come over. So all this is an invitation to come over and talk to you. It doesn't mean that you got to be in a date with him. It doesn't mean that you have to spend the rest of your evening with him. It doesn't mean that you have to go home and go to bed with him or take him home to your bed, okay? Or start dating him. All this means is you've given him the okay to come over and sit with you and talk, okay? So now once you've got him over here and you're starting to talk, this is where you want to start opening up the three magic questions, the conversation, and find out what kind of person that you're dealing with. Is this someone I want to take to another level, or should I just bail out while the getting's good while I'm still here before it goes any further? Okay. So if I seem a little off, I'm kind of watching both screens here, so I'm just kind of trying to look ahead. So anyway, so you get with this guy and you start talking, and one of the things that you want to say to him is, depending on where you are, if you're at a wedding or you're at a bar or you're in the store, you want to ask him, so what brings you to this occasion or location, whichever one applies. And this is the part where you're going to start the seduction process without him even realizing it, okay? So he answers your question. Oh, I just came out with a couple buddies tonight. They're over playing a game of pool, and I was just sitting here having a drink. Oh, okay, this is where you pay attention. Oh, you just came out with a couple buddies and they're over playing a game of pool and you're just sitting here having a drink. Well, great. Have you been here before? Yeah, I've been here a couple times. It's an all right place. Oh, you've been here a couple times. You think it's all right? Yeah, I've been here a few times myself. I kind of like it here too. But see, what I'm doing is I'm repeating back what he says to me in his answer. And I'm using his words. There's some times where it sounds a little funny at the end if you try to use his exact words. It starts, sounding like you're a mockingbird and just mimicking everything, okay? So you can continue on the conversation. And then you ask, if that sounds good, you ask him, so what do you do for a living? And he answers, say, oh, I'm an electrician. Wow, you're an electrician. That's awesome. You like your job? I do like my job. Do you like it? Would you say that it's your passion, or is there something that you really, really love that you're not doing? Well, I really like working on antique cars, but I really don't see that as something, make a living at. Oh, you really enjoy working on antique cars. I bet that's a lot of fun. But I can see where you wouldn't think that would be making, something that you make a living on. See, I threw a little bit in there so it doesn't sound so much like I'm mimicking him. Although when you repeat back their words and notice their tone of voice, and if you can match that tone of voice as much as possible, they're going to start feeling connected to you and start trusting you, okay? And this is where you can really make your move in here, okay? So you want to repeat back these things. And you want to pay attention to their answers, because if they're saying, I work at McDonald's part-time and I hate it, but there's just nothing out there right now. And, I got a place at mom's and I don't have to pay rent, so it's easy for me. Does this sound like a person that's goal-oriented? Does this sound like a person that has um, a lot of self-esteem, love for themselves, or are they just kind of like giving into whatever? And then you need to make a decision. Is this the kind of person that I want to start a relationship with that has this mindset? I would say not. That's entirely up to you, but I would suggest not. Then you're going to move on to the next question if they pass that second set of questions. If they say the right things, they sound good, that's great. Move on to the third set of questions. Thank you. And so when you start on the third set of questions, this is where you need to be very choiceful with the questions that you ask. So this is really going to depend on whether this person is going to be a person that you want to bring home to mom, or you really want to, hey brother, someone that you really want to explore something with. So when you meet this guy and you go through the first two sets of questions and you're on the third set of questions, and the third set of questions are going to be about talking about childhood memories. So when you start talking about childhood memories, pay attention to how they respond, not just the stories that they tell you, but pay attention to how they are affected emotionally in telling those stories. Because when you relive a childhood experience by talking about it, you can't help but relive the emotional part of it as well. Okay? So in this third question, what you do is you start asking them about their childhood memories. So where did you grow up at? And they tell you, oh, I grew up in a little skid city outside of Portland called Oregon City or something like that. And you said, oh, you grew up in Oregon City? Oh, great. Maybe you had a family member that lived there or grew up there, and you could bring that up. But you want to add on each time you repeat what they say. You want to add something new onto it. Okay. So what was that like for you growing up in Oregon City? Did you have a good childhood? They said, oh, I really liked Oregon City. I had a great childhood. My family was really close. I had great parents. They were always there with us. They didn't baby us. They let us learn from our mistakes, but yet they didn't try to hold us back, but yet they were supportive and there for us when we really did need them. And I really felt like I had a good growing up support system. Wow. You really feel like you have a great supportive system from your parents. I could see that. Good childhood memories, good family times. That sounds like you had a great childhood. What kind of things did you guys do? And then they start talking about, what they used to do. Now, this is the part, watch. When they start talking about the things that they used to do, watch as their expression starts to change in their face. Their tone starts to change. Their body language starts becoming really relaxed and happy. So when they're talking about these good times, they're remembering them, but they're also entering into that emotional zone of feeling the experience as well. And this is where, when they start feeling that emotion, they start connecting with you and feeling really close to you, where they want to be around you and spend time with you and follow you wherever you go. Okay. And the more that you can touch base on those childhood memories that are good and bring those out in the person and talk about them through the conversation technique that I've shared with you, then you're really going to start connecting with this person on a level like you would not believe. Okay. Now, here's the other part of that. Sometimes when we are talking about childhood experiences, they're not always all good. Sometimes there's some bad ones in there. And those bad ones kind of hold us back where we don't want to be anymore. And every time we're reminded of that experience, we too relive that experience, even though it's bad and even though we don't want to relive it. So if you're talking to them and you've brought out a negative experience from their childhood, you may see a bad reaction from them. And a bad reaction from them may be that they start to pull back and withdraw from the conversation. They get real quiet. Or they may start, their voice may start escalating, okay? The tone of their voice may start getting louder, maybe deeper. And maybe they might even get emotional and end the conversation and leave. Things like this can happen, okay? Something's been triggered. Something doesn't feel right to them, and they're reliving it again, and they're not liking it, and somehow you brought it out in them. You might as well just consider your chances as failed right there as going any further with the conversation, Maybe if you're able to just, let them go, don't make a big deal out of it. Just let them deal with it however they need to deal with it. You might be able to recover the conversation at another time if you exchange information, okay? But you also want to think about this. If that came up, that thing that doesn't make them feel good, if it came up, that only means that it's still in their vibration. And what I mean by that is it's still in their now energy and they're still living it, part of them. Haven't gotten past that, okay? Now, here's where you got to make a decision at this point. If they got that kind of emotional level going on, you need to make a decision at this point. Now, do I want to try to help this person get through this stuff? Or should I just go on and find someone who's already emotionally healthy that I don't have to try to fix? Because maybe some of that stuff won't come up, but maybe, a lot of that stuff will come up again, and that emotional feeling attached to it is going to come between your relationship with, you and this person. Okay? So pay attention when you're doing the third questions. The questions that you're asking and the reaction to them and the emotional level and emotional tone that comes up while you're asking these questions, okay? Because if you don't want to bring up something that's a negative tone, or maybe you do, because, this is kind of a catch-22 here. Maybe you don't want to bring up something that causes a negative memory because you don't want them to have that kind of reaction, but then maybe you do want to have something that brings up a negative memory because then you know that it's still there. They still got it going on, they haven't got past it, which means that it could cause problems, okay? Every time you have a conversation, if something triggers that memory or another one that maybe they haven't gotten past, and it gets triggered by that, you're going to have that same problem like this encounter you just had with them when you trigger that old memory, okay? So this is something to think about when you're getting to know someone and getting through the first three questions, okay? So make a decision at this point. Is this something that feels like it's going to be an issue in a relationship if I try to have one with this person? Or is this something that seems like it's just minor and they seem to handle it well and we're able to deal with it and put it past and carry on the conversation? Because if they can't carry on the conversation and it affects them so much, what's that going to do in your future conversations in this relationship with this person? What's it going to do to you? If they can't handle that conversation about these certain things, and getting emotional or sad is one thing, but having outburst or you feeling like you just got beat up because this person can't handle those thoughts that they're having and they're taking it out on you and then lashing out at you or taking off or running away and you don't hear from them for days. You can either deal with this and see if there's a way that you can help them work through this, okay? Or you can decide that you don't want someone that you have to try to work on their stuff with them. You want someone that's already emotionally healthy. So if they got this stuff going on, even though it just came up, okay, in the third part of the questions, that very well could possibly mean also, you take this into consideration with an open mind, that could also mean that you yourself, you know, me being part of the group of, women out there that got the stuff going on, okay, I'm not exclusive. It could mean very well that you still got something going on inside you that's causing you to attract that person. So this is an eye opener for you. You probably have something that it didn't just come out of the blue. Somehow you generated towards the question that brought out that response that made them feel that horrible way that they felt before. It's probably in around that question that you have a connection to that maybe you forgotten about, or maybe you blocked out in some way, or maybe you are not aware of or even accepting of, okay? And this is where a lot of people want to run scared. They don't want to accept or consider the fact that somehow they drew that experience out of that somebody, okay? Because when you have to look at it and take into consideration that maybe somehow I have something going on inside me still that's connecting to that person. There's a reason why I picked this person out and started with questions. That if I wouldn't have asked this question, I would have never known that. I would have never known that that's still going on inside me. I would never known that they got this going on, but more importantly, I got it going on. So this tells me, you or whoever is in this situation at this point, this is going to tell you that you need to clean up some more stuff that you got going on so you can attract the person that you say that you want. Because we can talk all we want, we can do affirmations all day long, but if you don't emotionally have it going on, what you say, it does not matter what you say. You can say it all day long to the world. It will not change the vibration that you got going on if you don't truly believe those words that are coming out of your mouth. Okay? You can say whatever you want, but do you actually believe it? You can convince yourself of it, but deep down in the deepest part of you, do you really truly believe it when you're honest with yourself? This is something that you need to ask yourself. Do I really believe that, I'm supposed to be with someone that looks like that or has that car or has that house or, or that body or that personality? Well, take a look at yourself. What is it in you that causes you to think along those lines and that question to come up? Because if it's coming up when you're asking it somebody else, it's something in you that's triggering that. So you need to look inside and say, well, what is it about that question and maybe even that answer that person gave to me? What is it about that's in me? How does that relate to me in what way? What do I have going on that made me ask that question and draw that out in that person, which is probably drawing it out of me? Okay, that doesn't mean that it's not in them. I'm not saying that. That doesn't mean that at all. What it does mean is you got it going on too. But for some reason, you're either not recognizing it or you're in denial and you don't want to admit that it's there. Okay? Sometimes a little bit of both. Sometimes there's some part of it that you're in denial about, and sometimes there's some part of it that you really didn't even realize that it was going on with you. But see, here's the great part. Because this is you and your body and your mind, you get to make a choice now for you. You get to decide, do I want to keep having stuff like this come up and being very aware of it by the people that I'm attracting in my life? Or now that I brought it to my attention, am I ready to make the changes that I need to make me the person who I thought that I was already, who I am already, but I'm just not being? Because everything that you need to be successful, everything that you need to be the person that you want to be, it's already inside you. It's already part of you. You just have to get out of your own way and allow yourself to become that person, okay? So now you've gotten past the 3 matching questions. If everything goes well, the 3 matching questions go great. The third one's really awesome, and the person and you are really connecting, and you start hanging out, and you exchange phone numbers or whatever. Keep going. It's awesome, okay? Now I'm going to teach you some things because we're getting closer to the, last 20 minutes or so of the show. So I'm going to teach you some things that are going to help you get your partner relaxed when it comes to getting close, intimacy, cuddling, kissing, talking, opening up, okay? So we're going to talk about some different stuff today, and we're also going to talk about some Tantra things today. Which Tantra is the Western style, is different things that help your body get around, excuse me, get aroused and help you increase your sexual energy. And we'll talk more about that sexual energy and how it can be used in just a little bit. Let me get a drink of water here. Excuse me for just a moment. I feel I'm getting dry. I don't do a lot of talking except for when I'm on my shows live or doing a video. So when you get with your partner and say that you guys have been talking on the phone and now you're dating physically and seeing each other and going out and doing places, and continue to use the conversational, techniques that I've taught with your partner. It's just going to create more and closer bond to you. Okay. Now, one of the things that you need to be careful about is boundaries. Okay. Crossing boundaries. I'm going to take you into getting your partner turned on here in just a few minutes. But I want to talk to you a little bit about boundaries, okay? Boundaries are very important to set in the very beginning. And the reason why is because if you have a difference of opinion and what you see as boundaries, okay, what's going to happen is more than likely, many times, somebody's going to be crossing over the other person's boundaries, okay? And when I talk about boundaries, I mean like going through your partner's wallet or purse, whichever applies. I'm really speaking to the ladies here today. Men, you can get some use out of this as well. But my main concern is to reach out to those women that are trying to reconnect, trying to get out there in the dating world, trying to reestablish your relationship again, trying to find the right person and figure out what they want. Okay. So boundaries are really important. Make sure you set your boundaries ahead of time. So don't ever ask someone else to be a certain way that you're not willing to be. So what I mean is don't tell someone, going through my purse or looking through my phone is not okay. And then catch yourself looking through their phone or going through their wallet to see if there's any numbers. One, that's an insecurity thing. And if you got that going on, you got something going on in the area of trust, okay? So you need to work on the trust area, okay? So work on your root chakra, work on the sacral chakra. You may even want to work on the heart chakra. A lot of trust comes through the heart. But a lot of the sexuality, if you're having problems in that area, not trusting anybody that way, it can really block your experiences with someone on a sexual level. Okay, so boundaries are really important. So make sure you're really clear with your partner the type of relationship that you expect for them. If you just want to hang out and be friends, make sure that you're very clear with them up front that that's all you're looking for. If you want to date but you want to take it slow and get to know each other before you get really romantically involved, make that clear to your partner. Whatever you feel, make sure you make it very clear up front before you get to a point where you feel uncomfortable getting into that conversation. Okay. And the more comfortable you get with your partner, the easier it's going to be to talk to them and share how you feel with them, okay? So we're going to talk about, I get a little bit warm sometimes. So we're going to talk about getting your partner relaxed, letting your partner know that you're ready for them to make that move, okay? We're going to get into some of that stuff now, and then we're going to get into some relaxation techniques. And when I say relaxation techniques, I'm talking about relaxation techniques for relaxing your partner and getting them in the mood and ready. Okay. So what we're going to do is when you're with your partner, make sure you're real clear on your boundaries. Okay. And don't start assuming anything, because until you get to know someone pretty well and been with them for a little while, you really don't know what all their normals are, and you don't want to start making accusations or assuming things, good or bad, okay? Don't assume that things are going to go a certain way, because when you start assuming that things are going to be a certain way and you haven't clarified that and discussed that with your partner, you're going to get yourself in high expectations. And if they don't meet those expectations, you're going to get disappointed, and a lot of times resentful, angry, bitter, sad, feelings hurt, discouraged. Okay. So don't do that to yourself, okay? First of all. So let's say that you guys have gotten past the point to where you kind of know where your boundaries stand with each other, and the relationship's going really well. You've opened a really good communication flow. The conversational technique that I've taught you is working really well, and you really feel like your partner listens to you, and they know that you're listening to them because you repeat back what they say. That's how they know that you're listening to them. You repeated back their words. How could you not be listening to them, right? Okay. So now you want to take that relationship to the next level, okay? The next level of intimacy, okay? So one of the ways that you can get to an intimate level with your partner to where they're very relaxed and they feel so at ease and comfortable with you is doing what is called a light feather touch. The light feather touch is just taking the tips of your fingers and very lightly just rubbing your hands, your fingertips, I should say, down through their head, through their face, down across their jaw, down through their neck. And I will tell you, in most cases, men really like this area through here. And I do particularly too as a female, I really like the neck area too. So what you want to do is this is where, you're feeling close with your partner and you're ready for that next level and you feel comfortable with them. So go through the whole body and you're going to go through all the body. Make sure you're touching all the body. And when you touch, you're touching very sensually, very light feathered touch, barely touching them. And you're going to go down through all their body and work up through their arms, down through their chest, and make sure you go from the head all the way down to their toes and back up again. And you're touching every part of their body. Don't exclude any portion, any inch of their body, okay? You want to do that light feather touch throughout their body. And you will watch, notice, and feel as their body starts to become more and more and more relaxed, okay? And you want them to do the same thing with you, okay? It goes two ways. You want to share back and forth. So start out when you're at the intimate level, start out with the light feather touch throughout the body, okay? And if you missed part of this, go back and watch the video over because I don't want to repeat things with very limited time left, okay? So you're going to start out with the light feather touch and go through the whole body and make sure that you cover every little inch and go very slowly and very light throughout the whole body, touching every inch of them, okay? Then once we feel that their body is really, really relaxed, now you can go working into a real light, more of a massage, okay? Now you want to start in their lower back and work your way up. So I start down kind of in the buttocks area, massage the buttocks area, and just kind of squeeze. And sometimes if people have a lot of stuff that they're holding in their body, the buttocks area may be very, very tender, okay? But on another show, I can teach you how to work out those things in the tight areas so it's not such an issue for you. It's so sensitive because there's so many nerves in our body that we're so sensitive, okay? Sensitive to touch, sensitive to people's energies. So you want to start in the back, and with the back, you want to start in the lower, and I kind of start in the tailbone area, and start with your thumbs in the tailbone area, and just kind of slowly massage your thumbs kind of up in a round curved area, okay, like that. And then you're going to go all the way up and work your hands into it as well, and just kind of slowly, gently massage all the way up around the spine, all the way up through the back of the neck, okay? And then now you're going to go and you're going to work down through the next section of the body. So go from there, go down in through the shoulders, and you're going to work massaging the shoulders in, kind of outward and an in motion around the shoulders and working down across the tops, the front, and the back sides of the shoulders, okay? And then once you get kind of down into the shoulder blades and work your way in, then you're going to go back down to the lower back and work over to the right and kind of work your way across the lower back and massage gently in circular motion out towards the hip area, okay? And then work up to the next level and do the same thing all the way out until you get all the way up to the upper portion of the center of the back where you left off. And now you want to, if choose to do so, if you choose to continue to do the massage, I would then work into the neck area and make sure that you really work in their sensitive areas and work down through their chest. Men really love this. Women love it too. It's very sensual. It's very enticing and helps you get more even relaxed than the feather touch does. It gets you, breaks down that barrier and gets you more relaxed for the real massaging part. And so make sure, because a lot of tension happens in the head, you want to work through the head too. So you want to work up, starting at the base of the head, and work up through that to the top of the head. Then you want to kind of work out and make sure you get all the way back here in the back of the bones here and work up behind the ears and all the way up. And just, start doing like a gentle massage. You want to get up here and just lightly massage their head, okay? And then just come around and massage their forehead same way, and their temples around on their face, okay? And then how far you want to take this is entirely up to you. If you want to work down through the arms and down through the legs and the feet, I would recommend that. And then allow your partner to do the same thing with you, okay? So you both are now in the relaxed mood, okay? That's going to get you in a real relaxed state and ready for intimacy and getting that turned on that started in you, okay? Now, once you've done that, now I'm going to show you a few little Tantra techniques. I don't know if we'll have time for the healing. I'm only here till 5 o'clock today. I don't know if we'll have time for healing techniques at the end, but I want to make sure I really get through this process with you. So the next thing you're going to do is talk to your person, your partner, and see if they're comfortable in doing some Tantra techniques with you, okay? The massaging can be part of the Tantra stuff. I actually got that from a massage book. And they kind of mix a little bit of what you would call Tantra in with the massaging. And you can also massage out toxins in your bodies and pain, which I do on a daily basis, by pressure. Okay, but we're not going to get into that right now. Okay, so now you're at the point. Okay, you guys have finished each other light feather touch, the light massaging with each other's bodies. Okay, now you both are feeling just really relaxed and calm, and all your inhibitions have been let go. Okay, now with the Tantra techniques, one of the things that you can do. Okay, I'm going to show you a couple different things that you can do for Tantra, okay? One of the techniques, and this is a technique that's going to help you create a bond, a really deep, sensual, sexual, comfortable bond, connection with your partner, okay? And this is called the heart connection. So what you do is you can sit or stand in front of your partner. If you're going to sit, I would suggest sitting close, proximity to each other, across from each other, face to face, with your legs crossed. Okay. And then what you can do here is with the heart to heart connection, what you're going to do is have them reach out and put usually it's your left hand, because the left side is where your heart more generates through. Okay. And you're going to reach out and you're going to put your left hand, I'm by myself, so I'm using both hands as a kind of metaphor, so to speak. And you're going to put your hand on their heart. And what you do when you do this, and this is one of the hardest things for people to do, is if they have any kind of shame, guilt, inhibitions, um, things going on, this is going to be really hard for them to do it first. But doing the other techniques first is going to make it easier for you to get to this point. And that's why I showed you those. Not only do they relax you and make you feel connected with your partner, but it also breaks down that resistance that you have, that you put up as a barrier wall trying to protect yourself from feeling good. Because if you feel good, it might go away. Someone might hurt you or take it away from you. Okay? So we're trying to stop that. We're trying to change that tonight, okay? So now that your partner and you have your hands on each other's hearts, this is where you look into each other's eyes. And I don't mean bug-eyed, staring, but a soft gaze, just as you're showing appreciation and love for this person as if it were you were looking at a baby or a beautiful butterfly, or a dragonfly, or whatever you enjoy looking at that brings you so much love and appreciation when you stare at it. Bring that here right now. Now, when you look in your partner's eyes, I want you to do this, if you can, for 10 minutes and just stare into their eyes and just hold that light, soft, loving gaze to your partner as they do to you. And this is a way where you start feeling more comfortable with that person. Because once you can start doing this without having this need to look away or hide yourself from them in some way, sex, intimacy will get so much better. It's going to be great because you're going to start loving it, because you're going to start loving yourself and loving your partner in a new way. Okay. So this is one way. Okay. Now the next tantra technique I'm going to show you is one I would recommend that you use a little bit later into the relationship, once you've become a little bit more comfortable at making eye contact and feeling close to your partner and allowing them to see you with your clothes off and being comfortable in that image and not feeling like you have to hide from them because you feel like you have flaws. No one's perfect. Women, they go through childbirth, they get stretch marks, their body changes. It doesn't look the same as it did 20, 30 years ago. But you know what? That's okay because that's who you are. That's how you're meant to be. This is who you're becoming. This is who you're meant to become. So don't wrong yourself for it. And please, men, if you watch, don't wrong your women for it. Love them and appreciate everything they went through to give you that child. Okay? So with the next technique, this next tantra technique is a more deeper connection that I really recommend when you're more comfortable in the intimacy department with your partner, okay? And this is called the rocking technique. Now with this, you're going to sit cross-legged, but what you want is when you cross your legs over, you're going to have this leg up and you're going to bring this one up. And so they're both going to be sitting upright, okay? One's going to be under and one's going to be over, but the feet themselves are going to both come up and sit on top of the legs, okay? And for some people, especially if you have any problems in your hips, lower back, this may be hard for you to do. If you can't do it that way, try the other traditional, what we call Indian style sitting. And so what you're going to do in this position is you're going to sit across your partner, and again, you're going to have eye contact directly into their eyes, soft gaze, okay? Now, once you got the eye contact going on, the soft gaze between you and your partner, you're going to sit and you're going to feel where your tailbone is. Now, your tailbone is the root of your chakra, okay? And that makes a big difference in how you feel grounded and comfortable in your own skin and who you are, okay? And how you feel depends on how you let other people in, okay? How much of you that you let them see the real you, how comfortable you are with your clothes off, being in intimate conversations, telling how you feel, having close, communication and really sharing the deepest parts of you, okay? So with your legs crossed and you're sitting across from your partner, if I had a partner, I would do more of a demonstration, sharing that, but I don't. So just bear with me and visualize as if. So you're having eye contact with this person. So what you're going to do is you're going to start rocking. And the whole time you're staring into your partner's eyes, okay? And as you're staring into your partner's eyes, your hands are rested on your legs. Your feet are up on your legs in the cross position. And you're just staring at them, rocking back and forth. And what happens when you rock back and forth on that bone? It starts creating sexual stimulation. And once you start creating that sexual stimulation, it starts becoming stronger and stronger. And as you gaze into your partner's eyes, that stimulating feeling is increasing, and so is your sexual desire for your partner increasing, okay? So now you've got your partner to the point where it's sexual, things are going great. You got to start learning to communicate in the bedroom. Start figuring out what makes them feel good. Ask them what makes them feel good. Start getting comfortable where you feel comfortable talking about it with each other and share that with each other, because that's how you keep that stimulation alive in the bedroom. And try new things. And don't forget to keep dating. Even if you're married, keep dating. Go on dates every week, at least once a week. Go on a date together and go somewhere together. And don't make it a forced action. Do it because you enjoy it and have a good time when you do it, okay? And some little things that you can do for your partner is put a towel in the dryer while they're in the shower. And so when they jump out of the shower, the towel is nice and warm for them. Or leave a little note in the seat of their vehicle. Or if you leave before them, maybe leave it on the pillow so they see it when they get up in the morning and they're still sleeping. Don't forget to keep the romance alive. And if you get bored easy, do role playing. Maybe you're going to be this cowgirl and your husband's going to be a cowboy, and you're going to go meet up at the saloon, and you're going to do some flirting and then come home and have some great sex. Okay. Um, Whatever you want to do. Okay. So sometimes we'll find that when it comes to, I'm going to do a quick healing process with you. Sometimes we'll find that when it comes to, I want to say one more thing too before I do this. Remember to keep the love alive, keep the romance in it, keep the dating in it, change it up, and learn to grow with your partner. If your partner is expanding and growing and learning knowledge and wanting to go on ventures, don't hold yourself back. Go along with them. Join in. Because if you don't, you're going to grow apart. Okay? Do things together, but allow each other still to have that time apart to do their own thing and be their own person and just relax without feeling like they need to be something for somebody else. Okay. So, quick healing technique is sometimes in our life we have people that come in our lives for the good. Sometimes they're there just to teach us something, they're not there for long times. And in the past along our lives, we sometimes come across people that will rub us the wrong way, or we feel raised us the wrong way, or didn't treat us the right way. And there's part of them that still has a hold on us. And maybe they still intimidate us in some way, and there's part of us still feeling like we need to ask their permission for something, or to do something, or to have something, or how to do something, or if it's okay if you make this decision on your own. Okay. We do that a lot. And what I want you to do is, if there's a person in your life, maybe they're passed on, maybe they still exist, maybe you've shut them out of your life because you can't handle it. This is where you can take the opportunity to really deal with that. Okay. So, who is that person that makes you feel like you don't have a voice, makes you feel like you can't be your own person, you can't make up your own mind, you can't do things in the way that you want to do them or in the time that you want to do them? Who is the first person that comes to mind when you think about that? Okay. So whoever that person is, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to think about that person and think about something that they do that you don't like, that they do that feels like they're taking your power, your control, your decision making, your choices away from you. Okay. And I want you to think of that. You're going to feel it somewhere in your body when you're thinking about that. Now find that spot wherever it is in your body that you're feeling that and put your hand over it with your eyes closed. I want you to reach out with your opposite hand. And I want you to find that picture. There might be multiple pictures, but we're going to look for the one that really stands out right now, okay? And this is an eyes closed, inside eyes job, okay? So go out, find whatever that is. And once you find it, you're going to know it it's going to really stand out to you if it's visual, or the feeling, if you find it, it's going to intensify. So this is where you got to feel. If you can't see it, you got to start feeling all the way across, all the way back, up and down. And then once you found it, now you got to start feeling to see how big it is. Now, once you found the size, what I want you to do is visualize yourself drawing a big black line around that, okay? And maybe you remember what it is and maybe you can't see it, okay? Either way, let's just write some lessons in there, things that you probably needed to know from that experience. So if you can see the vision, you're visualizing it as a TV screen now. So you take the contrast knob, turn that picture all the way to the white and see how that white screen feels to you. Turn it all the way to the left and turn it black and see how that black screen feels. Whichever screen feels most comfortable to you is the screen you're going to use to write on. So do that now. Now what you're going to do is visualize your right or dominant hand, and your index finger is going to be a gold pen. So this is where we write the lessons that we need to learn from this experience so we don't have to learn them together again, and then we put the experience behind us, okay? So from here, what we're going to do is write down, okay, I am love. I am my own boss. I follow my guidance. Um, I am confident. I am a good person. I am joy. I am inspiration. I am smart. I am strong. Whatever you think that you need to learn for that. If you can't remember, those are the kind of general ones that I would kind of probably use. Now what you're going to do, you're going to take that thing, whatever it is. In most cases, it's a person, a mom, dad, somebody that raised you probably. You're going to take that because we're dealing with stuff that happened a long time ago. We're not dealing with it right now. That's why we don't know how to fix it most of the time. So once we got that, we're going to take that, we're going to shrink it all the way down until it's in the palm of our hands, okay? Now we got control of that. We got control of that old experience we want to get rid of, and we wrote all our lessons that we need to learn from it, so we don't have to relive them, right? So now's the time you put it up, put that experience behind you, release it, and just kind of brush off all that negative energy, get rid of that, and get rid of that experience. So that's the end of our show for today. So I'm Rene'e Betteton, Life Solutions Transformations Coaching, and this is Tap In Tuesdays with Rene'e. Watch me every Tuesday at 4 p.m. on Facebook Live. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you really enjoyed this show, ladies. I hope you got a lot out of it, and I hope you understand now the things that you need to do to find the right mate. So when you get clear on what it is, start becoming that. Put yourself a little box and start putting all those things that you want in a mate in there. And make sure you really don't focus too strongly and specifically at how it's going to come or things that may not be a deal breaker for you. Be really clear on your deal breakers and don't make them so strong that you shut love out. Okay? So have a great night. Thanks for joining me. Talk to you soon. And as always, join me every Tuesday and learn more stuff and get more healing. Have a great night. I'm Rene'e, signing off.